Hello students, today we are revising polynomials and I hope you all know the basic concept of polynomials. With those basic concepts, we are going to solve the questions also. These all questions have been taken from previous year boards. So let us begin with the standard form of a quadratic polynomial. In your portion, you have quadratic polynomial that you are going to study. So standard form is given by ax square plus bx plus c. Okay. Now here degree of this polynomial, as it is a quadratic polynomial, degree is 2 and number of zeros. So at the most, what is the number of zeros in a quadratic polynomial? That is given by only 2, at most 2 zeros. Okay. Now we have a relationship also between these coefficients and the zeros of a polynomial. Zeros of a polynomial, you all know what is zero of a polynomial. So you put the value of x such that when you simplify it, you get a 0. So that value of x is called the zero of the polynomial. Okay. Now let us talk about the relationship that we have. Let the zeros को रूट्स भी बोलते हैं of the polynomials are alpha and beta. Sum of zeros, which is alpha plus beta, is given by minus b by a. b जो है is a coefficient of x and a is the coefficient of x square, and product of zeros which is alpha into beta is given by c by a. C is the constant term divided by a, which is the coefficient of x square. So this is the relationship between the zeros and the coefficients of x square and x and the constant term. Okay. Now there are sometimes questions जिसमें graph दिया होता है and based on the graph you tell how many zeros it have. Okay, so graph of a quadratic polynomial is generally of the form of parabola. We say it is a parabola. This is opening upward here. Okay, here यहाँ पे ये जो parabola है ये ऊपर की तरफ खुला हुआ है तो इसको open upwards वाला parabola बोलते हैं. यहाँ पे if you see this is x-axis and this is y-axis. So this parabola is intersecting or meeting the x-axis as these 2 points. को मैं ले लेती हूँ, एक है माइनस ए ज़ीरो और इधर है ए ज़ीरो. तो यहाँ पे जो दो ज़ीरोज़ हैं, व्हाट आर दोज टू ज़ीरोज़? माइनस ए एंड ए. ओके, सो दिस इज़ द बेसिक कंसेप्ट ओवर हेयर. स्टैंडर्ड फॉर्म ये है, डिग्री इज़ 2, नंबर ऑफ ज़ीरोज़ मैक्सिमम 2 होते हैं. देयर इज़ अ रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन the sum of zeros and the coefficient, that is alpha plus beta is minus b by a. Product of zeros and the coefficient is alpha beta is c by a. Got it? And we talked about the graph. So let's use these concept only and solve the below questions. Okay students, चलिए शुरू करते हैं. First question से begin करते हैं. The graph of a quadratic polynomial passes through the following points. ये 4 points आपको given है. The zeros of the polynomials are, अभी when you see this, you have this one lies on x-axis, this point minus 6 0. जहाँ पे भी y coordinate 0 है, y coordinate 0 meaning the point lies on x-axis. okay, और कहीं पे है not this ये वाला point, या ये दोनों नहीं है तो this is also lying on x-axis. तो इनके जो x coordinates है minus 6 and 6, so these are the zeros. okay, zeros are only the x value because the polynomial is in terms of variable x. okay students, that's the option over here. आपको बस ये देखना है कौन सा पॉइंट एक्स एक्सिस पे लाई कर रहा है. यू हैव टू टेक फॉर दैट. नाउ रेशियो ऑफ द सम एंड प्रोडक्ट ऑफ द रूट्स ऑफ द क्वाड्रेटिक इक्वेशन. रेशियो ऑफ सम ऑफ रूट्स एंड प्रोडक्ट ऑफ रूट्स. सो सम ऑफ रूट्स हमको पता है अल्फा प्लस बीटा इज माइनस बी बाय ए, विच इज माइनस ऑफ माइनस 6 by 5. दिस इज बी, दिस इज ए. 6 by 5. Product of roots c by a, which is 21 by 5. Now ratio 6 by 5 is to 21 by 5. 5 cancel, ये भी cancel 3 से, so it will become 2:7. So the answer is 2:7. B option. Third question. If alpha and beta are the zeros of this polynomial and alpha plus beta is alpha beta, then find the value of this. Okay, same thing we will use. alpha plus beta क्या given है हमको? That's minus of minus 30 by k, which is 30 by k. What is alpha beta? C by a. 45k by k. You can cancel it, it's only 45. Now they dono equal and this is the condition given to you. So 30 by k equals to 45. So from here, when I do transpositioning, so 30 by 45 is k. Lowest term you can divide by 15. So 2 by 3. So k का value आ जाएगा 2 by 3. So your option is D here. Okay students, I hope अभी तक समझ में आ रहा है. Let's see the next question. Now here ग्राफ देखते हैं. ये ग्राफ is intersecting or meeting x-axis at one point only, correct? एक ही point पे meet कर रहा है ये. There are no other point. The graph of this y px is given for a polynomial px. Now the number of zeros here from the graph is only 1 because it is intersecting at only one point. Okay. Sometimes अगर ऐसा कोई graph है, it means no zero because it's not meeting at x. Got it? And it's a polynomial in x only. Fine. So I hope ये concept clear है graph को लेकर. Now the zeros of the polynomial you have to find out. How do you do it to get the zeros? सबसे easy way, middle term split. Quadratic formula पता है, you can use that also to get the value of x. Okay. और वो भी नहीं समझ में आ रहा, कुछ नहीं आ रहा है, values put करके try करके देख सकते हो. x की जगह 1/2 put करो. If when you solve you get 0, it's a 0. Okay students. So your wish, whatever way you want to do. So middle term split करते हैं. 3 4s are 12, 12 के factors, 12 into 1 because उन दोनों को minus करोगे तो 11 आ जाएगा. So I got it. So 12x minus 1x because when you minus 12 and 1 you get 11. Take 3x common, x plus 4, यहाँ से minus 1 common, x plus 4. So you get it x plus 4 and 3x minus 1. When you get that 0 equals to, so x is minus 4 and x is 1 by 3. So I have C as my option here. Okay, we got the zeros. Okay students. Now the sixth question is assertion reason. So in assertion reason, it's very important that you read all the points very carefully, whatever assertion is given. So the degree of a zero polynomial is not defined. Is it a true statement? Yes. Reason, the degree of a non-zero constant polynomial. Non-zero constant polynomial कोई भी value ले लो. 2, it's a constant and it's a polynomial. Degree कैसे पता चलेगा? x का तो कुछ भी चीज़ नहीं है यहाँ पे, तो if x is nothing, I can say x power 0. Anything power 0 is 1, so I can multiply 2 by 1, correct? वो 2 ही रहता है. Yes or no? So x power 0, so it means degree is 0 here. This is also a true statement. But is it explaining this? No, not at all. They both are different things. Yeah. So its option is B. Both assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Okay. Now let's move to the seventh question, which is also an assertion reason question. Let's read it again. Assertion: if the graph of the polynomial touches x-axis at only one point, then the polynomial cannot be a quadratic polynomial. We have just done this question where the graph was touching only at one point. Okay. So, but it is a quadratic polynomial. Yes. So, it can be a quadratic polynomial. So, this is a false statement because let's say x plus 1 का whole square. तो इसका जो ग्राफ होगा, इसका मतलब x is minus 1. वहीं पर टच करेगा. यस, एक ही जगह टच करेगा ना, बट ये तो क्वाड्रेटिक, इसको ओपन एक्सपैंड करोगे तो क्वाड्रेटिक बन ही जाएगा. इसका 0 यही है. फाइन. नाउ रीज़न यहाँ पे बोल रहा है अ पॉलिनोमियल ऑफ डिग्री n, कोई भी पॉलिनोमियल है जिसका डिग्री n है, कैन हैव एट मोस्ट n जीरोस. पॉलिनोमियल ऑफ डिग्री 2, तो इसके एट मोस्ट 2 जीरोस, मैक्सिमम उसके कितने जीरोस होते हैं? 2 जीरोस. सो आई थिंक इट्स अ ट्रू स्टेटमेंट, very true statement. So assertion is false here and reason is true. So you have only one option here, D. Okay. Now students, let's move to the solving questions. We have them now. If alpha beta are the zeros of the polynomial, अब alpha beta दिए हुए हैं, 0 is polynomial k, 0 है नहीं हमारे पास, correct? And you have to find out the value of these things. एक way, middle term split करो. जीरोज आ जाएंगे, पुट करो, सॉल्व करो. दूसरा वे यूजिंग द कोफिशिएंट्स वाला पार्ट ओनली, या रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन सम ऑफ जीरोज प्रोडक्ट ऑफ जीरोज. तो फर्स्ट पार्ट बड़े आसानी से हम कर सकते हैं. अल्फा प्लस बीटा होता है क्या, माइनस बी बाई ए माइनस माइनस 6/5 विच इज 6/5. अल्फा बीटा c by a, that's 1/5. Now I just have to add them. So what is 6/5 plus 1/5? 7/5. First part done. Second part, alpha square plus beta square. Now for this I have to use this identity. What is alpha plus beta whole square? Alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta. So from here, after transpositioning, I get alpha square plus beta square is what? You take it on another side, alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta. So I just have to put the values. What is alpha plus beta? 6/5 whole square minus 2 into, what is alpha beta? 1/5. So I get 36/25 minus 2/5. Okay. Let us just simplify it. 25, 36 minus 10, which is 26/25. I hope it's correct only. There is no calculation mistake, students, over here. Just cross check once. Okay. Now let's do the third part. It is saying 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta. So I just have to take LCM, alpha beta down, and this will be beta plus alpha. I know what is beta plus alpha. 6/5, which is divided by 1/5, so that will be 6/5 into 5/1. You cancel, your answer is 6. All parts done. Okay, students. Now let's move to the next question. Now, alpha beta are the zeros of this polynomial. You have to form a quadratic polynomial whose zeros are this. Okay. If you know alpha beta are the zeros of a polynomial, to get a polynomial you have a formula. Directly you can put it, एक constant ले लेते हैं साथ में k minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. If the zeros you know, but in the case here zeros are alpha square and beta square. So here in my case it will be x square minus alpha square plus beta square plus alpha square beta square. Okay. Our polynomial will be like this. Now let us find out first from the given polynomial what is alpha plus beta. Minus b by a, 5/6. What is alpha beta? c by a, that is 1/6. Okay. इसमें एक और वे कर सकते थे आप, middle term split करके you get the zeros and then you put it and you are done. Okay. I'm using this way. Now alpha square plus beta square हमने अभी previous question में करा है, क्या होता है? Let's do it. It is alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta. Please remember it. Okay. So ये हो जाएगा 5/6 का whole square minus 2 into 1/6. 25/36 minus 2/6. LCM ले लेते हैं. So it is 25 minus, when I multiply by 6, 12/36, which is 13/36. Alpha square beta square आ गया. Put करते हैं यहाँ पे polynomial x square minus, what is this? 13/36 into x plus alpha square beta square becomes alpha beta whole square, which is 1/6 whole square. Okay. Constant आता है कोई, so वो constant हमारा ही 36, 1/36 बाहर आ जाना है. So that's x square minus 13/36x plus 1/36, and you can also write it as, you can have this polynomial like this also. Okay. Find this constant, I can keep it as anything, 36 रख के you can cancel it out and this is your answer. Fine, students. Now because this constant हमने basically this constant changed to this value. Okay. Just to simplify it furthermore for you people so that no confusion is there. So you can remove this constant part over here. Now let's move to this case study question. Case study. Question number 10. While playing in a garden, Samaira saw a honeycomb and asked her mother, what is that? Her mother replied that it's a honeycomb made by honeybees to store honey Also, she told her that the shape of the honeycomb formed is a mathematical structure. The mathematical representation of the honeycomb is shown over here. So what does it represent? It represents a parabola, which in term is a quadratic polynomial graph. Okay, so from the graph we have to answer the following question, that how many zeros are there for the polynomial represented by the graph given. So you see the points where it is intersecting, there are 2 points, so there are 2 zeros. That's the answer for this one. Write the zeros. What are the different zeros over here? You can see I have told you, one is -7 and another is 7. Done. That is also done. 1 mark, 1 mark. Very easy part done. Now the next question, which is not relevant to the graph only. Let's just solve it. First part, choice 1, I'll solve A part here. Now if the zeros of the polynomial, you have a polynomial given, their zeros are given as 2 and -3, we have to find the value of A and B. So now when zeros are given, we know if I put P as 2, what will I get? Instead of X, I'll put the value 2, A plus 1 into 2 plus P. So 0 means this should come out as 0. So 4 plus 2A plus 2 plus B. So I have 6 plus 2A plus B is 0. So from this I can say 2A plus B is -6, equation number 1. Now when -3 is the 0, then instead of X I'll put -3 into -3 plus B. That's all. 0 will be 9 minus 3A minus 3 plus B. So it is 6 minus 3A plus B is 0. So I can say minus 3A plus B is -6, equation number 2. So when I solve these by elimination method, so let's take 2A plus B -6 here also, subtract both of them, the sign changes, these two things cancels out, so -5A is 0, so A comes out to be 0. When A is 0, what will be B? B will be -6, so you get the values. Okay, it is done. I hope till here it is clear, students. आपको कुछ mistake लग रहा है, if you're not able to find anything interesting or anything difficult, please message me in the comment box and let me know. I'm ready to explain you again also. If the square of the difference, B part में move करते हैं, of the zeros of the polynomial, this is 144, find the value of P. Okay, ये स्टेटमेंट को बहुत ध्यान से रीड करना है स्टूडेंट. जब भी इस टाइप का स्टेटमेंट होता है, यहीं रीडिंग में मिस्टेक, स्क्वायर ऑफ डिफरेंस ऑफ द ज़ीरोज़. अभी इसको कुछ लोग ऐसे भी इंटरप्रेट कर सकते हैं, जो कम्प्लीटली रॉन्ग है. स्क्वायर ऑफ डिफरेंस, डिफरेंस का स्क्वायर इज़ गिवन एज 144. ओके, एंड पॉलिनोमियल हमको क्या गिवन है? एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस पी एक्स प्लस 45 इज़ द पॉलिनोमियल गिवन टू अस. सॉल्व करते हैं इसको. इट्स ईजी टू डू. सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट, यू हैव टू इंटरप्रेट इट वेरी वेल. या सो लेट्स बिगिन विद अल्फा प्लस बीटा. क्या होगा? minus b by a, which is minus p by 1 minus p only. Alpha beta is c by a, which is given by 45 by 1 45. अब आगे हम इसको सॉल्व करते हैं. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू सॉल्व ओवर हेयर. ओपन द आइडेंटिटी. a माइनस बी होल स्क्वायर क्या होता है? a स्क्वायर प्लस b स्क्वायर माइनस 2ab. ये हमको पता है क्या है? अल्फ़ा प्लस बीटा होल स्क्वायर माइनस 2 अल्फ़ा बीटा, और ये एक और 2 अल्फ़ा बीटा था माइनस, यस. सो इट बिकम्स अल्फ़ा प्लस बीटा होल स्क्वायर माइनस 4 अल्फ़ा बीटा. आई होप ये स्टेप क्लियर है. मैंने इस आइडेंटिटी को एक्सपैंड किया और ये आई नो व्हाट इज़ इट, आई जस्ट पुट द वैल्यू. ओके, अभी हमने ऊपर बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस में इसको यूज़ किया है. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, तो यहाँ पे वैल्यू पुट करते हैं. अल्फा बीटा था माइनस पी स्क्वायर, अल्फा बीटा है 45. ओके, माइनस पी का स्क्वायर इज पी स्क्वायर. दिस इज 180 144. लेट्स डू इट हेयर. सो पी स्क्वायर विल बी 144 प्लस 180, विच इज 324. सो व्हाट इज द स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ 324? प्लस माइनस 18. Done. We got the value of P. So I have used those relationship between the coefficients and sum of zeros and product of zeros and solve most of the questions, students. You have seen it. So I hope it's clear. You can use middle term split, find the zeros and then solve it also. It is no problem. But better you use this so that you understand this concept. This is what is there in the portion this year. Okay. So अच्छे से practice कीजिए. Keep watching the videos. If you have a doubt, let me know. Share it. Like it if you like it. And keep practicing the math problems. Okay, students, bye then.